What's a scary or disturbing fact that would probably keep most people awake at night? The serial killer Richard Chase would try random houses to break into. If the door was unlocked, he saw it as being an invitation. If it was locked, he saw it as a sign that he was unwelcome. When I was younger, I was in my room one time, home alone. I heard our front door open and someone come inside while everyone was out. Hours later, every comes home. I asked. No one had stopped by. It always made me very uncomfortable. I only really heard the sound of them coming in, not leaving. Law enforcement bases their methods on catching serial killers on the ones that let themselves get caught. The truly foolproof and effective ways to get away with murder are still unknown, and there are probably many serial killers getting away with murder because the procedure for murder investigations has not changed much in years. Learned this one watching Mindhunter. Oh, I know all about this. Ever since I was a kid, I have had the sensation that an eyelash has dropped into my eye. I'm always digging into my eye to get out the eyelashes or crud or whatever. Also, my face is itchy, allergy to dust mites, mold, house dust, trees, grass, tobacco, etc. So I live with a continually itchy nose. So in my 40s, my optometrist tells me I have Demodex in my eyelashes. She can tell by looking with a huge lens or something. She gets me these eye wipes with tea tree oil. Blefadex. Another one is Claridex. The itch disappears after 30 years of itching. So I'm pretty much ecstatic. I try them on the rest of my face. Itch and redness are gone. You can't use straight tea tree oil. It's too strong. But it kills Demodex, whereas a lot of things don't. They live elsewhere on your body, so I don't think you can kill them all. So I have to use my eye wipes a few times a week. Apparently Demodex are part of normal facial flora, but they become overnumerous in some people. Their poop causes irritation. They are associated with rosacea, but it's not a 100% researched thing yet. There is a spider that has fangs so powerful that it can bite through a leather boot. It usually attacks multiple times and you have to grab it and pry it off of you. It is also incredibly deadly. Edit. I wrote it below here, but it's the Sydney funnel web spider. Because of its venom, it is the deadliest spider. Let me guess, it's from Australia. I think the worst part of this is how normal it looks. Exactly. Hypothetical, if I were to go on a trip into the Amazon, I'd want to research all the things that could kill me, but then you'd quickly realize that all the images in the books or on the web look identical to one another. You can read all you want, but you'll never be sure that the page you are reading is the plant right in front of you. There is a plant called Dendrochnide, also known as Jimpy or the suicide plant. It's mostly found in Australia and has little stinging hairs all over it. When touched, they inject a neurotoxin in your body which hurts so much that most people rather kill themselves than waiting the 1 or 2 days until it gets better. I have the information from another Redditor on this sub and haven't found anything that literally says yeah they killed themselves, but I do believe it's true. Anyway, Ernie Ryder, who got hit by this plant in 1963, said, "For 2 or 3 days the pain was almost unbearable. I couldn't work or sleep. Then it was pretty bad pain for another fortnight or so. The stinging persisted for 2 years and recurred every time I had a cold shower. There's nothing to rival it. It's 10 times worse than anything else." The frontal lobotomy was performed with no anesthesia, and it was an outpatient procedure. Even funner facts. 1 point it was performed by sticking an ice pick in the tear duct, punching through the skull, and swishing it around in the brain tissue. 2 point there was no way to gauge or predict its effectiveness, because you were just swirling it around in brain tissue. And the funnest fact of all. 3 point because of #2, patients were often kept awake and asked questions during the lobotomy to see when their mental performance/behavior changed to determine when the lobotomy was done. Edit with additional fun fact, the guy who invented and popularized it won a Nobel Prize. There's nothing fundamentally stopping something in your brain from breaking forever while you sleep tonight. You could be hungry forever, lose your eyesight, become consumed with uncontrollable rage, whatever. All it takes is a tiny hemorrhage in the right spot responsible for regulating some signals, and they can happen to literally anyone. This is more sad. Some hospitals have chilled cribs for stillborn babies. They look like normal cribs, but they are cooled. It's designed for families to say goodbye before the child is taken away. Some hospitals even provide a photography service for these families. You can even donate money, so more hospitals have these cribs. It's sad that something like that needs to exist, but kind for families in that situation. This is a lengthy post, but this was almost me. The longest I went without sleep was over 6 days or 150 hours. Normally I'd do about half a week awake, then my body would shut down, and the cycle would continue. It is the worst kind of torture. You are lying there at night. You want sleep. You know you need sleep. You know you are dying. You are so utterly tired. Your whole mind is screaming, but your body completely betrays you and refuses to give it to you. No matter how much you beg, or cry, or how much medication you take, it will not happen. Every second feels like an hour until you reach the point where you hallucinate or have no memory for hours at a time with cuts and bruises all over you from injuries. Then time is nothing and you barely even realize you are existing. You go into REM while awake and things get freaky. Can't distinguish your hallucinations from reality. I still remember the day I got my first 8 hours of normal sleep and I could remember things after 30 seconds that someone had told me. I could smell again. And after a few regular sleep cycles I didn't collapse when I tried walking up the stairs. Life is precious and time is finite, so go hug the people you love, and in all seriousness, let them know, if you cannot sleep and seek help, it is not okay. One time I was hanging out with this girl I was crushing on, and she wanted to go see her cousin in another part of town. Being smitten, I was like sure, just tell me where to go. So we ended up in some ghetto part of town, and within 5 minutes of being in the house, we hear a loud bang coming from downstairs. We run down and see that the front door is off its hinges and asked her cousin downstairs WTF happened. He nonchalantly says some guy was trying to rob the place and kicked the door in, saw the cousin sitting on the couch and ran away. That's when I noped out of there. Kind of bizarre to think someone would do that in broad daylight on a weekend with like 4 cars in the driveway. Prions exist. Edit. I'm not that good with biology, so I left it to other editors to explain. But since so many of you asked, prions are misfolded proteins that cause other proteins that interact them to become misfolded or prions themselves. This can stop crucial body processes and cause death, and there's no cure or fake. Yes, but in a couple years, when scientists synthesize a strain of polythiophene that is non-toxic, prion disease will be able to be treated and possibly cured. You could have a brain aneurysm with 0 symptoms. Any day it could rupture and kill you from significant blood loss. Happened to my mom's friend right in front of her. The seemingly perfectly healthy woman died at 40 without warning during a work trip and while having drinks with her friends. 1 second she was laughing, the next second she was on the ground. Never woke up again. My poor mom was the one that had to call her husband and kids. Aneurysm and blood clot are the 2 types of death that scare the shit out of me. Silent killers. Around 8th grade my family thought my mom had a stroke, turned out she had a brain aneurysm. Thank God the doctors caught in time or else she wouldn't be with me today. She went through multiple procedures. Doctors never thought she would recover the way she did, and she exceeded all their expectations. She's not the same person she used to be, but she is still with me, so I don't really care. It's just sad she lost a lot of friends, and lost control of her entire life in the matter of days. She's so strong I often think about if I had to go through what she did, and I don't think I could do it. I've been that guy, kinda. Early 2000 I was working the abuse depth at an ICE. 99% complaints was spam, port scanning, etc. But about 4 to 5 times a year I'd get a child porn complaint that one of our users was hosting a FTP site for distributing child porn. I'd have to go in, download a few files, look at them to confirm, then put them on a floppy disk, encrypt, and call the police. Fuck if I didn't see horrible shit. Some nights I didn't sleep too well. But then came a few days/weeks later the newspaper article about the guy getting arrested, and that made it worth it. Edit, to specify, this was like 2002-2001, so early-ish days of the internet, where broadband wasn't that widely available, was starting to be, and a lot of dial-up people still. So most of what I found were still images or very small gifs. Still not fun. Thanks for the awards. Had an adjunct professor in college that was a sergeant for the state police. He worked years in narcotics related stuff and spent a lot of time undercover. He saw the worst in people. Once it was discovered that he was a techie, it was an easy transition for him to computer forensics. He said computer forensics was mostly child porn cases and that just 6 months in forensics aged him more than a decade of getting shot at or undercover stuff. You could easily tell he hated his job, but felt since he had the skills to help convict these people, it was his duty to suck it up and do his job. He was also an amazing and skilled teacher. That man will forever have my respect. It could be interpreted either way. You could potentially hear them crying or talking about you as you die, and there's not a single word or sign of life you could get out to let them know you're still here. You can only hear their suffering until you're fully gone. Either way, I think it's still a pretty weird fact. A friend of mine had a brother who died in a creepily abrupt and wholly unexpected way. His brother was just 30 years old, a fit runner and soccer player. One night after a few drinks with friends he returned home and fell asleep in his chair whilst watching TV. He fell asleep sitting upright with his head resting forward, chin on his chest. Try it now. Sit upright and angle your chin down as far as you can. Take a breath. Feel how slightly labored it is. Well, he slowly suffocated himself to death through the night simply down to head/neck angle. Scary stuff. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, hit like. If you would like to see more, feel free to subscribe.